Hey Stinky. So I talk about the red pill and MGTOW a lot, and for anyone new to the channel, I speak against these things, so don't worry. This is a safe space for all non-red pill beings. But I haven't tackled the greater community outside of MGTOW. The community I'm talking about here would be what's known as the manosphere. The manosphere is where you get your classic soy boys like the Fresh and Fit podcast, Hamza, Jordan Peterson, I think. But today I want to look at a channel that I've only briefly touched on before called FarFromAverage. I'm not sure if we can label this guy as another MGTOW channel, but he certainly has some wacky things to say. So let's go ahead and take a deeper look at FarFromAverage. Also, before I continue, we are in the middle of a global heat wave, and I'm living in one of the hottest states in my country. So you might hear my AC in the background. I'm gonna say sorry for that, but at the same time, not sorry, because it's like 117 degrees outside. Anyways, the first video we're gonna be looking at is called The Video You Were Never Supposed to See. I guess we could take that as some really solid advice as to not get into the manosphere, but let's see what this video has to say.
What if I told you that being a man is unfair? Would you believe me? Every day, all over the world, men from different backgrounds with different heights, different incomes, and different appearances are turned down and they are completely rejected by females.
Okay, well, let's give him some credit. Usually when we hear being a guy is unfair, we get a whole essay about men talking about dangerous jobs and being cheated on in divorce courts and yada yada. At least this guy took a different route. Still a dumb thing to say, but we've heard a lot worse on the channel. Moving on.
Imagine you're in a situation where a guy starts talking to a girl in the gym, while most girls would typically get annoyed by a guy approaching them. So the guy approaches the girl, and as he expects, he is swiftly rejected. Now imagine another guy approaches the girl, and instead of being instantaneously rejected, the girl actually welcomes a conversation with this guy, and this interaction ultimately leads to them hooking up later.
Okay, so this fictional scenario this guy created is a fantasy that plays out in a lot of red-pilled guys' heads. This idea that, if I was attractive, this girl wouldn't be weirded out by me and she'd want to fuck me. When the reality is, no matter how you look, this girl is going to be annoyed and possibly even creeped out because she's just trying to work out and you've been eyeballing her from across the gym for like 40 minutes now. This idea that FarFromAverage is trying to sell you here only plays out in porn.
I'm not at the beach, this is a bathtub.
The odds of meeting someone at the gym and just suddenly being invited to this total stranger's place for sex never happens. If you're going to the gym hoping that some girl will suddenly just magically be inclined to have sex with you, then no matter how buff you get, you'll always be labeled as the creep at the gym that hits on girls.
Life can indeed be very unfair if you are a certain type of man. If you were to get on TikTok right now, you would find all kinds of girls who say that they will never date a guy who isn't a certain height or who doesn't make a certain amount of money, and they will only date men who have X, Y, or Z.
Okay, so MGTOWs, men that are red-pilled, literally anyone listening to me right now, stop getting life advice from TikTok. TikTok is not a search engine, it's not a magical 8-ball with all the answers, and it's definitely not the place to decide, yep, this is how an entire group of people think. You're turning into the grandma that sees a random article on Facebook and goes, yep, this is definitely 100% true, and I'm gonna tell everyone I know about it. Hey Stephanie, did you know that there are chemicals in the water that are turning frogs gay? I'm emphasizing this point because we see it so much in the manosphere community. Just because you saw a video with like 100k likes doesn't mean everybody agrees with it, nor does it mean that it's 100% true. Please, please grow up. Better yet, just grow a brain.
So often, you'll have girls who say that they will not date a man who does not make at least $100,000 per year, but then a day later, you'll see the same exact girl hooking up with several men who literally have no job.
Wow, it's almost like the first thing you said about girls is actually untrue. Remember how I just said things on TikTok shouldn't be taken as fact? Well, here's FarFromAverage telling you, yeah, go ahead and listen to Buggy on this one, guys.
Girls will say things all the time, like they don't want to be approached by guys while they're working out in the gym. And for average men, this is definitely a hard rule that must be followed. But if you're not an average man, or if you found a way to make it so that girls do not place you into the average category, then you don't have to follow these same rules.
No, if she says she doesn't want to be bothered at the gym, that means leave her the fuck alone. I don't know how you could get any more simple than leave me alone. It's not only approach me if you're attractive, it's leave me alone. Jesus, let me repeat myself. Attractive people can still be really creepy and really annoying. In fact, let me let you in on a little secret, okay? Just go ahead and lean in. This is gonna be a top secret, okay? Sometimes girls will smile and nod along with something that someone is saying to them just to get out of a situation that makes them uncomfortable without escalating things. Sorry girls, you weren't saying it, so I kind of had to say it. And I'm saying it because I know there's a handful of people in the comments going, yeah, well, this one time I saw, no, you saw what you wanted to see, not what was actually happening. No matter how pretty and attractive you are, you're still capable of being a huge creep that no one wants to fuck with. This idea of normal guy and special guy shit is meaningless because no matter who you are, you still have to be polite and respectful and not a fucking weirdo.
For girls, physical beauty is like the main criteria that guys use to score them. So if you're a female who is lacking physical beauty, there really isn't a whole lot that you can do to change the rules for yourself aside from things like makeup. Or if you're really wealthy, you could afford something like plastic surgery, but even then that doesn't guarantee that it can make you significantly more attractive.
Go on a date, you fat bitch.
It's alarming how many of these red pill dudes care solely about looks. And maybe this is why red pill dudes just keep striking out. They're working way too hard on materialistic things rather than becoming a wise, well-rounded person, and their advice for women who don't feel pretty is just get plastic surgery or just add more makeup, which is really fucking hard to hear if you feel terrible about yourself already. This first line he says even highlights that a lot of these guys don't give a shit about anything else other than looks. They don't care about what she does in her free time, what she's majoring in at college, where she wants to go on vacation. No, it's just about how pretty a girl is. So if FarFromAverage is straight up telling you that guys only care about how hot a girl is, why is he going on about how unfair it is to be an average guy? Like, he's telling you how shitty it is to not be attractive, but then goes, oh yeah, well, we only care about a girl if she's physically attractive.
For girls, physical beauty is like the main criteria that guys use to score them.
If you're out here ranking people based on their physical appearance, then you don't really have a right to complain about your own looks because you're just as guilty as those damn girls who only like guys over 6 feet. Oh, they're so shallow and mean, grr.
But with men, it's actually the total opposite. All the most important things that females use to score a man are actually things that we have full control over.
Wow, it's almost like instead of bitching about how unfair girls' standards are, you should be fixing those things because, like you said, you have full control over those things, unlike those pesky bimbo girls, grr. This video of his was posted to highlight how unfair it is to be a certain type of guy, but I think FarFromAverage ended up making a video on how much it sucks to be a woman. I mean, in this video, he highlighted how women can't work out in peace, men accuse women of only being after money because TikTok said so, and that women cannot improve how attractive they are unless they get plastic surgery. This actually makes me wonder if he planned out this script for this video or he just had like a write as I go along type of writing process. Who knows?
Do every single day what average men won't do, like increasing your income, increasing your status, improving your game, and eventually you guys will be able to play by a different set of rules.
Such amazing advice. I mean, as the famous Kim Kardashian once said, you gotta work, bitch. Bitch! This is what all of those like self-help books or dating coaches tend to say at the end of their rants. Like, oh, well, it's easy, just make more money. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, oh, you don't want to tell me like specifically what to do? Like how to do that? Oh, now this is just a random video of his that I came across. It showed up in my recommendations, so I gave it a watch, but now I want to see what else he has to offer. Let's go to his channel and sort by most viewed, and oh, as we can see, there's a ton of videos targeted at lonely young men with millions of views, which tells me that millions of viewers took the bait, unfortunately. I mean, just looking at the titles of these videos shows that these are specifically for guys who've had zero luck with dating and are desperate for answers. And it seems that instead of the normal approach, you know, like giving advice on how to be a better person, he wants to teach these guys like Jedi mind tricks. God, there are so many like tricks and secrets to learn here. Let's just play it safe and check out his most popular video with 9.3 million views. Maybe I need to start making content for red-pilled guys.
Throughout high school, you've probably seen many guys who lack any real skills, but somehow, some way, a wide variety of girls find them attractive, just because they appear to be confident.
And here's where it's made clear that this guy's target audience is guys in high school who want to hook up with like the head cheerleader but don't know how. Like, I can already imagine a sophomore who's terrible at socializing, watching all these videos before prom, praying for like a simple solution on how to get the hottest girl in school to like them. He also brings that classic cliche of hot football dude who gets all the girls, but like, oh, he's just a dumb jock. Girls only like him because he's hot.
Those are some nice muscles, man.
When in reality, people aren't two-dimensional and usually have a lot more depth to them than just what you see on the outside from like across the hall. That's just a lesson in life you pick up for all my younger viewers watching. You just learn that as you get older. Anyways.
All too often, especially guys in a relationship, get too comfortable and start expressing uncertainty. Since this is traditionally a feminine trait, girls find it very unattractive when males express uncertainty about anything.
Okay, and here's that toxic mindset that red pill dudes try their hardest to spread. We saw the same thing being said last week when we looked at the 33 secrets, and that mindset I'm referring to is this belief that being open with your significant other is a sign of weakness, and being emotionally available is like beta. For all you normies, beta means undesirable. Anyways, the fact of the matter is that if you're afraid of being open with whoever you're dating, then you're probably dating the wrong person. A lot of these MGTOW dudes complain about how guys have it so hard, but here we have these guys spreading this idea that expressing your emotions is like the worst thing you could ever do, which is the worst thing you could ever say. It's a really unhealthy way to think, and this kind of advice given to the wrong person could even be dangerous. So please allow me to say that asking for help and opening up is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of bravery because you're showing that you have the courage to be better and to try better. Don't let these guys who are emotionally stunted fool you. Never be afraid to open up.
According to the rules of nature, girls are submissive and guys are dominant. So girls subconsciously find dominant guys attractive, and guys are subconsciously more attracted to submissive girls.
The manosphere has this obsession with being dominant and like the alpha, but what's always made me laugh is that they never seem to take into account that this doesn't apply 100% of the time. Like, they never take into account that weird goth girl who wants a soft guy that they can be dominant with. It also fails to highlight that there are plenty of girls out there who are really dominant and masculine as all hell. Like, we always hear about how tough guys are, but they never want you to see girls like this. I don't know, like this idea of dominant and submissive, it just kind of seems outdated to me.
Here's the perfect example to demonstrate that. Picture a girl wearing a small, weak-looking necklace around her neck. The necklace is tighter around her neck, and it is designed to be thin and weak-looking, which are all signs of submission. The necklaces that are made for men are bigger, thicker, heavier, and much looser around the neck. These are all signs of dominance and the polar opposite of submission.
Ah, that necklace you're wearing seems a bit tight. Could it perhaps be an indicator of how fertile and submissive you are, milady? This is another clear indicator of someone's insecurities manifesting into overcompensation. You know, like a short guy getting a really big truck. Well, here's a big strong man needing a big heavy chain to feel like a big bad boy. Ooh. Also, kind of off subject, but like, you realize not everyone has the same sized neck, right? Like a chain that's big and heavy on this guy might be pretty small on this guy. Does that mean this first guy is submissive? So it's not the man that's dominant and confident. It's actually all about the chain.
Why do you think girls always take selfies while holding the camera up and above them? They do this because it causes them to have to look up, which makes them appear small and submissive in the picture. And as a result, they push the evolutionary attraction button within men that makes us impulsively attracted to girls who appear to be weak and submissive.
Jesus Christ, can you guys not talk about girls taking selfies for 1 fucking second? Every video I do on these red pill dudes, I have to sit here and explain that guys take selfies and like, ah man, forget it. Also, this holding the camera above you, this is just how you get a really good angle while filming or taking a selfie.
Also, like all good YouTubers, I film from a slightly lofted angle, which is more flattering on the jawline, you know. As I always say, if you put the camera like there and film like this, then it's not that good, is it? That's awful.
It's not a women thing, it's just a photography thing. Yet FarFromAverage equates camera angles to evolution and being submissive, probably because he's fucking nuts.
Every man, from birth, is designed to be confident, curious, and dominant.
Oh, every man? Okay. Counterpoint. Transsexuals. Didn't see that one coming, did ya? Okay, like, I say this not to be a smug little smartass, although I do enjoy that, but this is just to highlight that FarFromAverage has a habit of making these sweeping generalizations without taking, well, reality into account. Everything in these videos paints humans as very black and white, and if you're this way, then you need to be this way, but things are never really that simple. I just wanted to point out that these videos never take that into account. Anyways.
So to sum it all up, from an evolutionary standpoint, girls are impulsively attracted to guys who appear to be confident, dominant, and masculine. And to keep it simple, all that you really need to make most girls attracted to you is confidence and dominance.
See, confidence is a great trait to have, but this kind of goes back to the scenario he presented where attractive guys can just walk up to girls at the gym like it's nothing. Like, okay, just because you're confident about, say, your appearance, doesn't mean any girl you walk up to is gonna want to date you on the spot. Shocker, I know. Nowhere in this video about how to attract girls does he mention that, oh yeah, you should probably have like a personality or strong social skills, which leads us to the point I want to make, which is that these types of videos do far more damage to men than some random girl on TikTok saying that she wants a guy with a six-pack. It's not women that are saying guys need to stop opening up about themselves. It's men saying that. It's these red pill dudes that just want to convince you that women are these like money hungry banshees that need to be played like an arcade game to get them to like you. So whenever a guy brings up that essay of men problems like, oh, guys have a higher rate of suicide, remind them that guys are the ones telling each other to stop opening up. Okay, so that video was not helpful to say the least. Saying it's not helpful is probably the nicest thing I can say about it, but let's move on to our last video of the day. This one's called 5 Signs You're a Silent Alpha. I guess this video is for dudes who don't want to claim to be an alpha, but deep down they know, like, yeah, I'm a bad boy. I just don't feel like saying it out loud. One could actually go as far as to say that this is the hipster alpha. Let's take a look.
Sitting at the top of the food chain when it comes to men is the alpha male. Challenged by few, this male consumes all of the resources that he wants and commands the attention and respect of the most attractive females around. Now, for thousands of years, this position of power has been assumed by both man and beast, and it represents the very best of the best, or the very top of the hierarchy of the man and animal kingdoms.
Okay, so let's get this out of the way immediately. The whole alpha male thing that the manosphere takes great pride in was actually based on how wolves behave in packs, but this was actually debunked a while ago by the guy that presented the idea in the first place, because the study was conducted on wolves in captivity, not wild animals. I'm not gonna go too deep into it because that isn't the purpose of this video, but I just wanted to briefly point out that the first 20 seconds of this Far From Average video is wrong. So moving on.
Sitting at the top of the hierarchy is another position that's just as powerful, just as respected, and just as fun to hold, and it's held by what you would call the silent alpha. Now, many men out there are quiet, yet they are not scared or shy, and deep within them, they can feel a burning sense of confidence and strength that they are able to pull from whenever the need arises.
Yeah, this is something I like to call not being a bitch. I think a lot of people would love it if people in the manosphere would just shut the fuck up about being alphas and betas and just stick to silent alpha so we don't have to hear about how cool you think you are all the fucking time. Also, who the fuck decides who gets what label? Yes, I myself am actually at the top of the food chain, but I will keep that to myself so nobody can attempt to disprove me.
Many men wonder if it's really possible. Can an alpha male really be introverted but still hold the top position within the social hierarchy? And the answer simply is yes.
The thing about introverts is that they usually don't want to put themselves in these like leadership positions like alpha and shit because they want to stay out of the way, most of the time at least. I feel that to be at the top of the social hierarchy, as Far From Average says here, you need to have strong communication skills, but based on my own experience and from what my fellow introverted friends will tell me, we usually just want to stick to ourselves, like I said, just out of the way.
In fact, many girls prefer this over the loud type because what it does is make the man significantly more mysterious, and girls will go absolutely crazy for a puzzle that they can't seem to figure out.
Well, that's weird because I could have sworn in the previous video we looked at, Far From Average said that girls tend to prefer guys who are loud and outspoken. You remember, like when he was talking about high school jocks and all that. Is Far From Average learning that different people want different things? He probably just wanted to paint quiet people in a good light so this video could do more numbers.
This is the type of guy who drops out of high school, who all the teachers said would never amount to anything, who eventually creates a multi-million-dollar company that changes the lives of millions of people around him.
Okay, no. This is another scenario that Far From Average made up in his head that just doesn't happen in reality. First, we had the scenario with the attractive guy approaching girls at the gym, and now we have the story of an introverted alpha male dropping out of high school to start $1 million company. Can you guys find me any actual examples of this happening? I'm seriously asking. Can you find not just one, but multiple cases of people dropping out of high school to start $1 million company?
In this world, it's not about becoming a lion. It is about knowing your own unique personality type and taking advantage of what you already have. It is about playing to your strengths and not your weaknesses. And finally, it is about enhancing what you already are, rather than trying to become something that you are not.
Oh my god, he's finally talking about personality and how to improve yourself. Granted, he doesn't explain how to do it, but I'll fucking take it, dude. Good fucking job, Far From Average. It's so rare for anyone in the manosphere to talk about how at the end of the day, the most important thing is who you are when you're alone and what you're choosing to do with your own life. Like, forget all this red-pilled alpha male bullshit and do what the fuck makes you happy, you know? There's more to life than chasing girls or being on that grind. Fuck, alright, I think that's a happy note to end this on, so let's get the hell out of here, guys. And there we have it. That was a brief look into content from the manosphere, otherwise known as the upside down of YouTube. I honestly don't know a whole lot about the manosphere. I feel like I've only tackled a few people within a very tiny corner of the manosphere, mainly because there are already plenty of reaction videos on big figures in the manosphere. Like you got channels like 16 Leo, Chad, the Noah Samson, I think that's his name, the guy that I've brought up before. Much bigger channels that get bigger numbers looking at these ridiculous dudes. So I feel like I don't have to do the same thing that they're doing. Like always, I'm open to suggestions on guys I should look at, whether they're red-pilled or MGTOW or just part of this corner of the internet in general. I'm not sure if I want to look at Ben Shapiro or Taylor the Fiend this following week, but the next video should be on one of those two guys, regardless of if you have a suggestion or not. Thank you so much for watching. It truly does mean the world to me, and I want to say thank you again. 280 subscribers, huge fucking deal to me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Peace.